The flu. Always before a webinar, it works very deeply in my system and keys start coming up. And last night, or when I woke up this morning, I was getting guided on exactly what we're going to work on in this webinar and a lot more. So I got a visualization that our astral body, which our astral body is the cozy part, the sensual part, life force, when it's in cellularly, it protects us. It opens up the aura to boundaries, actually. And it's like the egg shape in the cell, in the system. So it's a closed system. When the astral body is in the cells, when there's a trauma in the system, a fear in the system, a belief system in the system, if you imagine the astral body is turned, it's like if you imagine almost like a deck of cards, one side white, one side black. So we're full of, imagine each cell is one of those cards, black and white, which is like the positive and negative, what I show in the magnets, that it opens up this field of energy. Okay. So when this trauma, the magnets stick together and the field of energy closes down, shuts down. So if you imagine in every cell, the ones with life force is a field, a torus field of energy flowing, abundance, life force, creation, regeneration, rejuvenation cellularly. And in the cells where you don't want to be here, the will is not in the cells, the system's shut down. So where it's shut down, then you got, I'll call it the negative astral body, the wounded astral body. I think that's a better word, the wounded astral body. So if you imagine yourself full of thousands of cells, each one should be in this torus field, this energetic field. And then some of those cells are the opposite way around. They're not in life force for many different reasons. It could be belief systems. It could be, where there's trauma in the system. It could be where there was a residue of a vanishing twin in the system. It could be where you're holding information from your mom, your dad, wounds, and they manifest in your system. So also, it represents the timeline in this life system where you didn't accept or you didn't want to be here. And then you leave your will outside. So you turn the card around. Imagine the card. So we're full of thousands or millions of these cards. And what I was shown or guided last night was that we're going to scan the system, scan our astral bodies, scan all our subtle bodies to see which systems are in the right way, which are in life force, accepting the will. So the visualization I got the other day was that because the collective field is believing in something, which have been traumatized into their own belief systems, to fear death, to fear a disease, to fear a virus, the collective field has created a living field or being, I'll call it being, intelligence, an autonomous being, which is a living system, which then, if you are attracting that system, it scans your system and activates all the negative cards in the system. So it activates them. Now, the cards which are turned the wrong way around are about transition. So it activates all the cards and then the system starts making transition. But what I've seen in the people I work with and heard from the people who experienced this is that they felt that something was entering their system, almost like non-human, and scanning their system and activating. So they lost their will to be here. They lost their life force. They lost their energy and their creative force. So that's what I'm seeing in the system. Yes, there's viruses. What I'm focusing on in this webinar is what is scanning your system and what part of your system is supporting or is vibrating, has a signature code. I'll call it as a signature code, which is connected to the belief system of this collective field. For me, it's very important to transform and use it as a gift for scanning my system to transform where in my system I don't want to be here, and to transform it, to work with it, if that's what you want. Okay. So in this flu webinar, we're going to work with scanning the system cellularly on the astral body and all the subtle bodies, through all the modules of information, old traumas, belief system stories, which came from the ancestral line, plus your system, plus the collective, and transform everything into being present cellularly in your system. So you're full of life force, and you become an autonomous system yourself of creation, of joy, of abundance, of thriving, of creation, of creator, honoring you as the creation, honoring you as the blueprint of creation, a living field of information. So in this webinar, we're going to be transforming any deadness in the system, any systems that are have the same signature code as this collective field, which has been created by us putting our fears into the field of the collective fear, which has been named. It's important to name a system. So they keep naming it and changing the name. But when everybody puts their focus on that name, they put this intention of energy, and their fears go into this field of energy. It's like a black energy. And this becomes a living form, then has the capability to scan systems which resonate on that fear and activate them. And for me, that's what's happening in the field. It's opening up all the traumas. So the sinus get active, the lungs get active, the life force starts dropping. So this is a gift for transformation. It's a gift that it's like a magnifying glass on your system, finding where you don't want to be here and activating it. So let's use it as, let's do the opposite. Let's use a magnifying glass, a microscope, to go into our own systems and transform every single system in us of a vibrational being into being present, into thriving. And then we will work the same and share keys with you about how to work with the electromagnetic field as well. Because when you transform this, you build up a field of energy and an aura, which is so powerful and so transforming that you won't even attract that vibration into your system. It'll like water against oil, it just flow off your system. This is what the webinar is about. That's what I've been getting very strongly. So if you'd like these tools, or if you'd like to really go in on a microscopic level, almost like psychic surgery, to reset your entire system, your entire astral body and subtle bodies, subconsciousness, and the genetic information into life force, I invite you to be part of this webinar and transform your life. So maybe I see you at the webinar. If I don't, set the intention to do this yourself, to really honor the parts of your system, or to open up the systems where you don't want to be here and to transform them, to make a new intention. This is beautiful work, beautiful time for transformation, and a beautiful gift to be here in full life force. And then that's your new signature code to thrive. And you just simply attract abundance and creation and creativity and life, health. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.